A man who was convicted of kidnapping and murdering a Lexington man in 2013 has been sentenced. Coming up, why no one on either side of the case is happy with the decision. A rash of deadly crashes in Boyle County has been difficult for emergency officials. And a new exhibit centering around race is now open at the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville. Details ahead.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam Dick and Amber Philpott reporting. A man convicted in a high-profile Lexington murder case learned today how long he will spend in prison.
Mark Taylor was sentenced to 49 years in prison for the December 2013 murder of UK chef Alex Johnson. WKYT's Mark Barber is at the Fayette County Courthouse with reaction from Johnson's father. It's our top story at 4:30.
While Alex Johnson's father says he is glad that Robert Mark Taylor has finally been sentenced, he says he doesn't feel like justice has been served. He says Taylor should have been eligible for the death penalty.
If you kidnap a man, literally brutally beat him to death, and all he gets is 49 with a chance of parole after 20 years, is that justice? No.
Lee Johnson's son, Alex, was killed back in 2013. Last month, the jury found his best friend, Mark Taylor, guilty of murder, kidnapping, and tampering with evidence. Johnson was a UK chef. He also sold marijuana with Taylor. His body was found floating in a barrel in the Kentucky River after Taylor told another friend he was taking over their business. Since Taylor was not eligible for the death penalty, Johnson's father is urging lawmakers to pass legislation that would require stiffer sentences for people convicted of premeditated murder.
The legislators said if they can get the law passed, they'll name it after Alex. That'll help a little.
Taylor's attorneys are also not satisfied with today's sentencing. They're appealing the judge's decision to the Kentucky Supreme Court.
Our son is dead, and we can't bring him back. So I don't care what happens to Mark Taylor.
Taylor thinks it will be at least 2 years before the state Supreme Court hands down an opinion on their appeal. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Taylor has been in prison for nearly 3 years. He will get credit for time he has already served. A Madison County judge sentenced a man for his role in the murder of a Berea man. Back in May, Ryan Denholm admitted to providing his brother with a shotgun used to kill Army veteran Zachary Flower. Denholm has since pled guilty to facilitation to murder, facilitation to commit murder, and facilitation to burglary. Today, the judge sentenced Denholm to 15 years for Flower's death. Denholm has been in jail since 2011, so he is already eligible for parole. The judge denied his request for parole today. Denholm's brother, Matthew, pled guilty to Flower's murder in 2014 and 2 other unrelated murders. He's currently serving 3 life sentences.
Lexington police looking for the man who robbed a gas station this morning. They say a man wearing all black, including gloves and a stocking over his face, pulled a gun on the clerk at the Circle K on West Main Street. Police say he got away with some cash and cigarettes. It has been a very, very tough month for first responders in one county. Since late June, 5 people have died in car accidents and crashes in Boyle County.
And emergency officials say the response is tough on those who answer those calls. Many of them are volunteers. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more now from Boyle County.
The most recent crash happened here at Kentucky Highway 33 and Faulkner Lane. It and another one involved a total of 5 victims, and those who respond to these crashes say the response has been very, very difficult to deal with. Mike Wilder is the emergency management director and says 5 people have died in 2 violent crashes within weeks of each other. 3 died in one car, and in another crash on Godby Lane on the other side of the county, a husband and wife were killed, and a total of 7 people, including several children, were taken to various hospitals. Many of those who responded to the crash scenes are volunteers. Wilder says they need a pat on the back for their hard and many times thankless work.
So many of them are volunteers. They have to take their vacation to get training. But none of them ever seem to mind it at all, and they've had to work under very adverse circumstances lately. The situation that we had yesterday with the triple fatality just really brings it home.
Kentucky State Police are still investigating the crash. I am told that a Good Samaritan on his way to work rescued a 4th person that is still being treated for his injuries in this crash. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The 3 people killed and 1 injured in Thursday's crash were from Mercer County. It is another hazy and humid day here in the Bluegrass with temperatures back up there in the 90s, but the heat index will have it feeling a lot more like 100.
It is summer in the Bluegrass, and there's also some chances for some storms. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Chris?
Yes, storms are out there now. Temperatures couldn't even get to 90 in most areas today. We look at what's going on right now on your Defender radar network, and we are indeed picking up on some showers and some thunderstorms out there into parts of eastern Kentucky. Those storms are ramping up now from Paintsville, Louisa, back through Moorhead, and especially on top of Bath, Fleming, and Nicholas counties. Heavy rain here, Flat Gap, obviously a year ago this month. They were talking about deadly flooding into that community. Hopefully we'll get those storms zipping in and out of there fairly quickly. Now into Moorhead, where slow-moving storms putting down some very heavy rains across parts of Fleming County, into Bath County, and into sections of Nicholas County. We are indeed picking up on some storms that are very slow movers right now. And I'll tell you, we're likely to pick up on some local flash flooding the more I look at this little complex of storms here in northern Bath County into southeastern parts of the Nicholas County area. A lot of that action, Carlisle, is just to our east and south of Flemingsburg toward the Tilton area, over toward Battle Run, Bethel, into northern sections of Bath County. And that's a lot of heavy rain. And additional rumbles of thunder back to the north. Lexington Metro, a little shower on top of Clark County, although the majority of the region is dry for now. Some additional action beginning to fire up across southern parts of the Bluegrass State. And as we go through the evening, watch out into central and eastern Kentucky. Those thunderstorms are very slow movers, so a local flash flood threat is existing over the next few hours. We'll continue to watch those and track them with the hour by hour in just a few.
Summertime is vacation time for many people, and that can sometimes mean the need for extra money. As our WKYT Scam Week wraps up, a warning tonight about online payday loans. Financial advisors say beware of online payday sites that promise fast money in exchange for your bank information. The sites will even sometimes have the name of a well-known financial institution, giving the victim false security.
We've had many, instances of this happening, and we're talking not little dollar amounts, tens and $10,000, $20,000.
Amber joins us now from the newsroom with our investigative reporter Miranda Combs with more on how to protect yourself from these online scams. Amber?
Sam, thank you. This is a popular time for folks that might need one of these payday loans.
Right. Vacations are popular right now. Also, college students that are out for this summer are needing an advance pay. So, like we've said with all of these scams, though, they're not all bad.
Right.
So, but there are some things that you need to be aware of before you move forward with a lot of these.
The internet plays kind of a role in a lot of these things, and a lot of these scammers had so much access now because of the internet.
Jamie Akers with Commonwealth Credit Union was explaining how the scammers start researching you the moment that you hit their site. They have this deep web now they can go on where they can get your social security number, they can get your credit report, so they already know you before you get on. And what they'll promise you is that they can give you this money in 20 to 30 minutes, which sounds like you can't get away from that kind of deal.
And then they go a step further, right?
Apparently, they try to entice you even more by saying that they can make your credit score better. Now, if you think about it, that's not really something that one group can do for you. So, but that's another enticing thing they're doing now. We'll tell you more about that coming up at 6.
All right, we are rounding out Scam Week here on this Friday. Miranda, thank you. That's again coming up tonight at 6.
A new exhibit that challenges visitors to think about race from several perspectives is coming to the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville. The display is called Race, Why We Are So Different. A spokeswoman for the center says the topic of race has become increasingly significant in recent months, and she hopes the exhibit will encourage people in the community dialogue and, quote, spur interest in learning about the perceptions and realities. The Ali Center says the exhibit will open on September 24th. It's Prince George's 3rd birthday today, and his parents are celebrating with some newly released pictures.
It is that time of year again when kids are at different summer camps, and we find our big kid, Deanne Stevens. She's out at one today.
And she is a big kid. Let's see what Deanne's doing right now. Hey, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are checking out some summer camps. Stopped by Bar Y here in central Kentucky, and we have Jake. Jake, what is Gaga? Because we're hanging out in the Gaga pit today.
Well, you start by throwing the ball in the middle, and usually we say ga ga ga, and if you touch the ball before the third guy, then you're out. And if you do a head bunt, like if you get, like if you, for example, like if you get somebody hit on the head with the ball, like you're out, and
that's about it, right?
And below the knee.
And below the knee, right? Ashley, the kids love this game.
Yeah, they do. This is one of their favorite things here at Bar Y, especially because they get dirty and play dodgeball is what it's similar to, but with your feet.
Okay, we're going to let you guys get started. Good job, Jake. We're going to move over here to Miss Jennifer here at Bar Y. She said the kids love it because they can get dirty. Isn't that what camp is about?
That is absolutely what camp is about. And here at Bar Y, the kids get extremely dirty, and they really love to challenge their camp counselors and Gaga as well. Here at our Bar Y location, we also offer other activities such as archery, swimming with swim lessons. We have lots of field games, and every Friday we end with camp s'mores. That's our tradition.
And so we get an invite for the s'mores at some point on a Friday?
Absolutely. Come on back out.
You're talking food, which is speaking to me, my dear. Camp is such a good place for kids. Being outdoors, isn't that what summer's all about too?
Absolutely. We bring kids outdoors, and kids get to be kids, and they get to be physically active, have fun, make friends, and create memories.
How do folks get more information on Bar Y?
All right, so they can visit our website, ymcacky.org. They can contact any of our YMCA branches here in Lexington.
Hey, did I just cheat, guys? Am I allowed to kick it like that?
No, not to kick it.
Uh-oh, I'm being put in the penalty box here in the Gaga pit. Check out Bar Y for yourself and the many different camps offered across Central Kentucky. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys. Let's play this game. Here, throw it here. Oh, wait. Did I cheat?
Just hit it like
you playing already?
All right. Great to see him outside without
Absolutely.
the video games and the iPads and the phones. Way to go, kids.
Just enjoying. All right, stay with us. There's more news coming your way right after the break.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Thunderstorms across the area this afternoon starting to really ramp up, especially east of the Lexington Metro. That's just what we're looking at on our live Skycam as we veer toward the east, and you see some of those thunderheads in the distance. 86 right now, Lexington, but the humidity making it feel at 94 degrees. Humidity's up there at 67%. Here's your Defender radar network, and look at that complex of thunderstorms racing across parts of eastern Kentucky, slowing down on the back edge of that just a little bit now. From Johnson County, Lawrence County, through parts of Morgan, Elliott, into Rowan, we are dealing with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Strongest part of all this is just to the west of Moorhead, Hillsboro, over toward the Owingsville area, Sharpsburg. We've been getting in on some very heavy rains, and you got to watch these storms. They're going to pack a lot of lightning, as you could see in 15 minutes here. You're talking about several hundred strikes in just this one little part of Bath County over the past little bit. But also, they're going to put down a ton of rain. So Sharpsburg over toward the Reynoldsville area, into Bath County, up toward Bethel along 11, into sections of Fleming County. Watch those creeks and streams. It does not take very much at all in a setup like this to produce some local stream and some street flooding. Flash flood warnings are out into parts of Ohio from this same complex of thunderstorms. 3D Defender. Now, all of a sudden, the storms west of Moorhead, look at those spiking way up in the atmosphere, and that's a sign that not only are we getting in on a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy rain, but those storms may produce some small hail and some very gusty winds. Can we pop a warning out of that? We'll see, but it's kind of spiking up there big time right now. From Winchester into Mount Sterling, a little thunder shower trying to pop. Lexington, Georgetown, back over toward Frankfort, Lawrenceburg. We're in pretty good shape as of now. And again, that stuff east of downtown Winchester. It looks like the inflow from those storms to the northwest kind of pulling that shower into the storm. Southern Kentucky, a little scattering of stuff that is out here. Rest of the Ohio Valley with some clouds, and you've got these little boundaries that act as mini cold fronts floating around, and that'll likely carry us into the day tomorrow as well. You know what that means? Well, it's steamy again, and you can get a storm or two to crank up. Sunday, you know what it means? It's steamy again, and you can get a storm or two to crank up with some heavier downpours. Monday, more storms around. Heavy rain threat will amp it up just a little bit Monday, and that'll carry us into most of next week. Hour by hour this evening, picking up on those showers and thunderstorms, and then through the overnight, things begin to calm down a little bit. A lot of clouds around through early tomorrow. Scattered thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. And what you're seeing here, the models every day, and we've said this every single day this week, have been just underestimating the amount of cloud cover. They've underestimated how green the grass is and how much water is in the ground. So they're overestimating the temperatures out there. In Kentucky, if you want a real heat wave, folks, you got to have a baked ground. That's just as simple as it gets. We look into the forecast over the next several days. You're going to see a lot of upper 80s, normal for this time of year. Yes, any one day can hit 90 where you live. Threat for thunderstorms, though, is going to increase. And coming up at 5, guys, we'll show you how the concern next week may shift more toward heavy rain.
Oh, well,
we've been there before, haven't we?
We have, but we could probably use a little bit, just not the heavy part.
You don't want to get all of it at once.
Yeah, that's right. Chris, thank you.
Stroke is the 5th leading cause of death in Kentucky, many times striking when you least expect it.
Tonight, a young Lexington woman is sharing her story of recovery and wants others to know the warning signs, her message of beating the odds.
Life for Jennifer Extracamp has been like a complicated puzzle. There are pieces that just fit.
I love to teach and coach. Those are my two, passions.
And then there are those pieces that can stump you, just like life has a way of not always going as you planned.
I think what stuck with me the most is what could have happened.
In 2015, Extracamp, a Fayette County 3rd grade teacher and volleyball coach, was home on a snow day. She remembers waking up thinking she had shoveled too much snow the day before.
I woke up Wednesday morning and realized pretty quickly that something wasn't right. I had an excruciating headache just on the right side of my head.
Slurring her speech and numb on the left side of her body, Extracamp went to urgent treatment.
And the doctor happened to be at the counter, and she looked at me and she said, "You need to get her to the emergency room. You need to rule out a stroke."
And a CT scan did confirm a stroke. Doctors at St. Joseph Hospital determined fibromuscular dysplasia was the culprit.
The lining of vessels are not properly formed. We don't know what causes it. It's usually predominantly seen in women.
The problem was in her carotid artery that supplies the head and neck with blood flow. Dr. Nicobetti was able to go in and treat the artery and look for any additional clots.
Because my concern was that she still had a narrowing in the artery that could result in another stroke.
Fully recovered, Extracamp is lucky, and she knows it. She's now back to doing what she loves, including hitting the sand. Volleyball is something this admitted competitor is thankful for. No opponent is any tougher than what she's already faced. As for that puzzle of life, Extracamp is just glad she has more time to put all the pieces together.
I think it has made me realize that I can't take any moment for granted, and that I want to live my best life and not to hesitate to go for what I want in my life.
She is very lucky. Jennifer Extracamp has chosen to share her story because she wants people to listen to their bodies and for all of us to learn the warning signs of a stroke. So think of the word fast: face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, and time to call 911. Seconds count when it comes to a stroke, and fast action is what helped save Extracamp. Well, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have released some new photos of Prince George to mark his 3rd birthday today, and they are adorable. The photos show the 3rd in line to the British throne sitting on a swing and playing with the family dog Lupo. The pictures were taken earlier this month at the family's country home in Norfolk. Could he be any cuter?
He can't take a bad picture. Coming up, you'll meet a dog that is about as trusting as man's best friend can be, and he'll show you how. I'm not complaining that it's Friday, but it is a little steamy out there.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain about it being Friday at all. And Chris, I guess I'm not going to complain about this hot weather either, because like you said, we have not had very much of it.
No, and you know what? Today we haven't even hit 90 into most of our region. We've been into the 80s. Showers and thunderstorms really taking control of the weather this afternoon, and those thunderstorms are packing a punch here in the parts of northeastern Kentucky, especially for folks who are eastbound on 64 east of the Winchester area. Watch out. You're going to run into some very heavy downpours over the next little bit. Strongest storm right now is creeping back into Moorhead. Watch for some flash flooding. Southern Fleming County into Rowan County and northern parts of Bath County. May even throw Montgomery County in there with that thunderstorm that is beginning to develop there. So watch the creeks and streams into those particular areas. We got more thunderstorms that will continue to fight the heat over the next several days, and then the storms really take control of the pattern. We'll detail that in the 7-day forecast a little later. Right now, Friday afternoon, heading into the weekend, talking traffic with Officer Don.
I want to start off showing you a collision on Nicholasville Road. Now, this one is inbound Nicholasville Road just before the circle, but it's having an impact both in and outbound. But mainly right now, you can see traffic backed up from Man-O-War all the way past that crash before the circle, so that's causing a headache on Nicholasville Road in front of the mall. Drive times to Nicholasville, 13 minutes, to Georgetown, 16, Winchester, about 24. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. Beer boats and a dog trust fall. It is the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
One of Australia's more unusual sporting events celebrates the nation's love of the ocean and beer. Darwin's annual Beer Can Regatta challenges competitors to make boats out of recycled cans and put their sailing skills to the test. The aim is to keep your beer can boat afloat and win the race at any cost. So the deal here is they want you to not play fair. That's encouraged. Thousands of people from all over Australia attend the race. The bizarre contest started back in the 1970s, and it's seen plenty of creativity over the years and plenty of beer cans.
Well, what started as an exercise favored by psychologists now has been mastered by a golden retriever. A dog named Watson is enjoying viral fame after his owner posted a video on Instagram of the pup trust falling into his arms. Now, trust falling is a team-building exercise made famous in self-help seminars and therapy sessions. There he goes. Watson somehow learned it and now faithfully falls at his owner's command, and interweb users have fallen for it too, to the tune of more than 500,000 views. So who says you can't teach an old dog new trust?
That is
I
awesome.
just think Watson is adorable.
I love the name too.
Cute dog for a name, or cute name for a dog. There you go.
There you go.
On that note, please stick with us. Here's what we're working on for you now at 5 o'clock.